Hi, I'm Old Norse specialist Dr. Jackson Crawford. In medieval or pre-modern thought, to curse someone is a simpler affair than we usually think of in modern times. It's typically not a complex series of words or magical formulae that need to be uttered. You simply need to express that something bad should happen to that person. Think about the way that we use the word malediction as sort of old-fashioned English. This comes from maledictio in Latin, literally just to speak badly, and that means to curse. Or the fact that in English we still talk about curse words, most of which express things that are bad that we hope happen to people that we don't like. If I go into a group of students and I tell them to go to hell, in a medieval or pre-modern way of thinking, what I'm actually doing is saying I hope they do. And of course that's a curse in the old-fashioned sense because it's a bad thing to go to hell. Well, in Old Norse myths and sagas we see a great number of curses, and similarly they are typically just easily voiced bad things that might happen to someone. Think about the curse placed on the ring in the saga of the Volsungs. When Loki extorts the dwarf, who is disguised as a fish, named Andvari, into giving up his treasure, Andvari curses the very last ring that Loki takes from him and says, "May this be the death of everyone who owns it," and later it is. Not that Andvari had to do anything particularly special to curse it, but there's the curse. Dwarves seem especially fond of putting curses on things. In the saga of Hervor and Haetheric, one of the most interesting Norse sagas, one I've considered translating, and which is available in many different variations surviving from the medieval period, there is a sword called Tyrfingr, and some manuscripts give some details on how it comes about. The sword is created by a couple of dwarves for a king named Sigurlami, or for his son Svavrlami, but the dwarves put a curse on it stating that it will be used to commit 3 atrocious deeds, and that it can never be drawn from its sheath without killing a man. This sword is later found in the possession of the berserk Angantyr and is taken from his undead hands by his daughter Hervor when she breaks into his burial mound. It is truly one of the most metal of the sagas in many ways. But curses may not just be put on someone. Sometimes there seems to be people who just have a sense about whether there is a curse just naturally on someone. In Njál's saga, which I'm going to do a recap of soon on this channel, Njál warns his friend Gunnar that Gunnar is under a curse, that if he kills twice in the same family, he himself will be subject to death. But only if he does that. If he does not kill twice in the same family, he'll live long and happily. So in Old Norse myths and sagas, a curse is typically not some kind of elaborate magical formula, but rather a simple declaration that something bad is going to happen either because you want it or because through some halfway magical means you've realized that there already is this curse supposed to put upon someone, maybe just by fate, by the Norns perhaps. From beautiful Colorado, I'm wishing you all the best.